Hello everyone! Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And again, welcome to our Civil Service Exam Review, which is of course brought to you by Gurong Pinoy. Tonight's session is on verbal reasoning. And this is already part 2. Nasa part 2 na po tayo. We had our part 1 of the review last December 11. And I am still your coach, Coach Sha. And I will be with you for a couple of hours to help you answer items, this time on paragraph organization. Magandang gabi po sa lahat. Last December 11, I promised you that I will include items on Filipino. So I have divided this tonight's session. The first part is in English. I'm more comfortable about it. And that's on paragraph organization. The second part, the Filipino version, we will have pagtatalata. We have, by the way, given you a copy of the test material in advance. I hope you were able to scan through them so that we would have a smoother flow of discussion for tonight. Yeah, I can see some of you are already keying in your location for tonight. Salamat po. For the others, I'd like to invite you, please do key in where you are at the moment so that I would know kung gaano po kalawak yung sakop ng session natin for tonight. And if you know somebody who is also taking the civil service exam, you can tag them here. The test materials and the video of tonight's session is exclusively shared for those who are members of the Gurong Pinoy. So, kung hindi pa po tayo nakapag-join, please join na po tayo. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to message us in our Gurong Pinoy Facebook page. Alright, wow. Magandang gabi po sa inyo dyan sa Tuguegarao City. Hi, JC. Is it Mr. Right, Mr. JC? And then, yeah, we have a Facebook user from Angono, Rizal. We also have audience from Cabadbaran City. Welcome po from Samar. I hope you are all right there. We also have audience from Zamboanga City and Pangasinan and Coronadal. Wow. So we have audiences from all over the Philippines once again. Yeah. From Bicol. Yung mga taga Eastern Visayas, I hope you are okay, especially that typhoons have just visited you there from Caloocan. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. So it's already 7:01. Let us begin. Allow me to share this slide with you. It's an inspirational quote. And it says, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." That is why I understand you are all here. Even if it's already nighttime, it's supposed to be rest time, but you're joining me here because we are all in this together. You dream to pass the civil service exam, but of course, we cannot just close our eyes and see our names listed as passers. Of course, we have to input. We need to give some inputs, and our attendance for tonight is one of the key ingredients towards achieving the success. So I'm one with you in praying that you get to ace it. Okay? We also have from Team Piaget from Cebu City. Welcome po. All right. So this is already the second part. In our first part, the part 1, last December 11, I hope you were also with me. So kung nakapag-join na po tayo last December 11, welcome po once again. For those who are new, welcome to our session. And tonight's focus again is on paragraph organization. Sige. So ito po yung directions na makikita ninyo if we are given this type of test. Each group of sentences labeled A to D, sometimes it contains 5 statements. So E is part of a paragraph. Read the sentences carefully and decide the best order in which they should be arranged in a complete and well-organized paragraph. Okay. Sige. Let's try. Let's get ready, ha? Nasa game na po tayo. So letter A. They will help you to purchase through zero interest installment schemes. Once you are decided with your answer, you can key in the number, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Thus, letter B, thus, you must be wise and pay in full if you want to avoid never-ending credits. C, credit cards are helpful if you know how and when to use them wisely. And D, however, they will produce interests if you don't pay the whole amount at the due date. What do you think is the guess? How do we logically organize these statements? So we have options there as to how how the statements should be arranged. What do you think is the best answer here? It seems that all all of those who have keyed in their answer says it's 1. Okay. Before this, of course, I will be presenting to you different items. And I'll just take a little bit of time to review on strategies or tips on how to deal with this kind of text or test rather. Sige. So what's tip number 1? You say, every paragraph, story, or article has a pattern. So wait po muna tayo ha. Uh, I'll, uh, I'll let you suffer from the agony of waiting to know what really is the item or what really is the answer for the first item. And your goal is to organize the whole pattern to present the main thought either chronologically or logically. If it's chronological order, usually we are given keywords like first, second, and so on. But if it's hard for you, then you make an outline of each topic in the sentences. You can do this if you are given enough time. But in the civil service exam, of course, you are pressed with time. So decide, organize the whole pattern. And then the second one, I think this is the most important, and this is where we should begin. Find the topic sentence. What do we mean when we say topic sentence? It is the one that presents the main idea. So the question that you could ask to find out of the topic sentence is, what is it about? What are we talking about in the paragraph? Yeah, thank you, Shane. So Shane inputted here, the context is a conclusion statement. Then read all other statements to fully understand the context. So you're using the word context. In my case, I'll use topic sentence as the beginning of all the tips. So we start by identifying in this session, I'll let you follow the strategy where we identify the topic sentence or the main idea, and then from there we identify the rest of the details. We call them support until we reach the concluding statement. And then once we have spotted the topic sentence, we look for pronouns. We understand that some sentences begin with a pronoun. So if it does begin with a pronoun, usually it is not. Because the topic sentence, when we say pronoun, it refers to something. It has a reference to a certain noun. So if it's a pronoun, there's some vagueness on what we are talking about unless it is spelled out in the form of a noun. So if the sentence begins with a pronoun, usually it is not the topic sentence. So that's one tip. Okay. So yung mga nag-a-ask, we are on live at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. So sharp po tayo. All right? So let's take a look at the sentences once again. And the beginning words, I tried to highlight them. So letter A, we start with the word they, and they is a pronoun. So possibly this is not. And then thus is a transitional device or a connecting word. So usually it is also not. The transitional devices are found in the middle of the sentences where they connect one idea to another. And then letter C, credit cards. For those who are asking about requirements for the CSE, you can message us at the Gurong Pinoy Facebook page. Our team could surely help you there. And then letter D, however, just like thus is also a transitional device. So we can already eliminate B and D being our topic sentence. Okay, so from here, we identify, so which here begins with a noun. What is the paragraph talking about? So thus and however are transitional device, we can eliminate them. And then we have they and credit cards. And earlier, the rule says locate the sentence which begins with a pronoun and eliminate it. So letter A is not. So here, we decide that letter C is our topic sentence. Credit cards are helpful if you know how and when to use them wisely. So the help, what we are talking about in this paragraph is the helpfulness, the usefulness of credit cards. Okay, so we can identify. If we take a look at the choices here, we have C, A, D, B. And then if we take a look at the options, we see that only number one, it starts with a C. All right. Now, here's another rule, save time. If you are taking the test and you see that there is only one option that talks about the topic sentence being the first in the list, then don't bother anymore with the rest of the items. Just identify already one as the answer and move to the next test item. All right? So that's saving time. But for the sake of discussion, I'll walk you through the tips. So suppose we have already identified our topic sentence. The next step is to find the sentence that support or add details to the topic sentence or main idea. So we have identified the topic being the usefulness of credit cards. And the first question that we can ask to look for the detail or the support detail is, how can credit cards be of help? So let's take a look at the sentences. Which of these offer an idea that a credit card is helpful or useful? All right. So here we can locate letter A. So they are helpful because they will help you to purchase through zero interest installment schemes. All right. And to continue further, we watch out for signal words. We call them transitional devices. They connect one idea to the other. And connectors or transitional devices have different functions. So number one, for example, to present an order of sequence. So if we're talking about ideas, paragraphs that present ideas chronologically, then we see words or keywords such as first, second, third, and so on. But if the paragraph would like to present a comparison and contrast between two or more ideas, then we see keywords such as similarly, as, than, but, however, and so on. There are also paragraphs that would like to present cause and effect. And so transitional devices such as consequently, therefore, as a result, because, hence, and then thus. You can find them there, usually at the beginning of the sentence. And there are also those that present problem and solution. So you would see the word because, as a result. All right. But these are only a few of the signal words or transitional devices. You can search more on transitional device. I think we have a different and a varied available resources online. You can check them out to study for them further. So let's take a look at, we have already identified C being our topic sentence, and then we have A being the support detail. So by order, we have identified C and A. Now we are left with B and D, and which one should come first? Now, if we take a look at the word thus, what do you mean when we say thus? We mean to say therefore. So as a consequence or as a result, so you say thus. And then we also have the word however here, and the however as a device is used to present a contradiction or transition. All right. So they will help you to purchase through zero interest installment schemes. And then letter B here, it says, thus, you must be wise and pay in full if you want to avoid never-ending debts. But if we take a look at sentence A, it doesn't talk about anything about debts yet. It just says to purchase through zero interest installment schemes. And so far in this sentence A, nothing negative is presented. It presents only something that is positive. And to connect it with a thus, you must be wise. So you're already offering an advice as a result of, or as a result of something or a consequence of something. So medyo hindi swak yung CAB pattern. So let's take a look at letter D. They will help you to purchase through zero interest installment schemes. However, they will produce interests if you don't pay the whole amount at the due date. Okay, so we have identified it. So something positive is presented in A, D. Okay, so we had, if we take a look at this, the correct order will be C, A, D, B. Okay. And then finally, the tip is to find the concluding sentence. So what do we mean when we say concluding sentence? That is the one that presents the final thought. It's a wrap up or the conclusion, and usually marks the end of the article or the paragraph. So what should you do to make credit cards be of help to you? And then there. So letter B. Thus, you must be wise and pay in full if you want to avoid never-ending debts. Okay. So going back to our order, tama po kayong lahat. The correct pattern here is C, A, D, B. Okay. So I believe clear na po yung tip natin. We have 4. First, identify what type of text is it, and then try to arrange it logically by, number 1, identifying the topic sentence, and then identify the support details. Try to look for keywords. We call them transitional devices. And then finally, locate the concluding sentence, or the one that presents the final thought. Sige? So I think we are all ready. Let's start with the first item. Review pa lang po muna yung first one that I presented to you. All right, here. A, next, add antifreeze to your windshield washer fluid. Otherwise, the fluid will freeze and possibly break the container. B, first, put on snow tires if you plan to drive on snowy, icy roads very often. C, driving in water, especially on snowy, icy roads, can be less troublesome if you take a few simple precautions. D, finally, it is also a good idea to carry tire chains, a can of spray to unfreeze door locks, and a windshield scraper in your car when driving in winter weather. And E, second, check the amount of antifreeze in your radiator and add more if necessary. Which do you think is the best order here? This time varied yung answers sa comment section natin. All right. So represented yung 1, 2, and 3. But it seems that many answered 1. Sige. Let's go through the process. Oh, we also have one answer for 4. Okay. Sige. Let's go through the process. The first one is we identify the type of text. So this one, given that we see keywords like next, first, second, finally, so we call this a procedural text. All right? And the the boxed words are actually our clues already. So if we try to take a look at them, they present a certain order, and only letter C is not highlighted. And it says, driving in water, especially on snowy, icy roads, can be less troublesome if you take few simple precautions. And letter C, as stated by the choices, is our topic sentence. So all of the choices here begin with a C as the beginning word. So let's agree that C is our topic sentence. And let's use the signal words to arrange the ideas. So we have C, and then B. We have the word first, and then second, and then next, and then finally. So if you take a look at it, we have letters C, B, A, B, E, A, and D. Very good. Great job to those who got it right. Very good. And I think many of you got it right. Yeah. Not many, but all of you. All of you inputted here, 1 being the correct answer. Ah, great job. Sige. Let's continue with the second item. This will be one of your tickets to land a job in the government. Letter B. That is why many people apply to take the career service examination. C. Career service eligibility is a major requirement to apply for a job position in the government. And D. If you pass the exam, you will get a certificate of eligibility. What do you think is the best answer here? Hi, Sir Frederick. At the moment, I'm having a review in English. This is verbal ability. Maybe you can check out our Facebook page for whatever link for social studies or sciences. So that we can also keep track of our responses, can I ask you also to identify the test item or the item number? For example, we are at the moment in number 2. So maybe can I ask you, if you write your answers, can you write 2 dot and then your choice? Okay, but it seems here we have identified 4 and 3. So everything begins with a C. So meaning we agree that C is our topic sentence. So career service eligibility. This is an informative text, by the way. It tells us something about career service eligibility and the examination to take in order to get such eligibility. Oh, so varied now. So represented yung answers for 1 to 4. Sige, let's find what is the best answer here. So letter C, this is about career service eligibility. And since this is a major requirement to apply for a job position in the government, what do you think follows? This will be one of your tickets. So here, letter B. Since this is a major requirement for a job position in the government, many people apply to take the career service examination. Right. So those who have answered D, number 1, and number 4, That's already eliminated. So we are left with choices 2 and 3. Okay. Yeah. The D will come in later. So that is why many people apply to take the career service examination. For sure na, pero mali po. Okay? So we are left to options 2 and 3. 1 and 4 are already eliminated. Here, let's take a look at this. So in letter A, we have one of your tickets. So when we say a ticket, it's a sort of an entry. It's a paper, and the ticket can refer to a certificate of eligibility. The career service eligibility is the key term, and in order to get that eligibility, you get to take the career service examination. If you take the career service examination, you will be granted a certificate of eligibility, and then you get one of your tickets to land a job. All right. So if we take a look at that order, we have C. Oh, wait. So we have C, B. Career service eligibility is a major requirement. That is why many people take or apply the career service examination. Once they pass the examination, they get a certificate of eligibility. The certificate of eligibility is one of the tickets in landing a job in the government. So the correct answer is very good. Tama pa kayo, Ma'am Razel and Ma'am May. That's letter C. Number 3, rather. 3. Very good. Yeah. All right. I hope you're getting the feel of this kind of test item. Let's go to number 3. Again, I'd like to appeal when you answer, please do input the item number so that we can follow. Some of the responses are coming in later in the comment section. Number 3, a man spent his whole Sunday in front of the TV set watching football matches. B, in the morning, his wife saw that her husband was still asleep in his armchair. C, a little later, he fell asleep in his armchair. D, the man woke up at once and asked, 5 to 7? And who is leading? E, she went to wake him up and said that it was 5 to 7. All right. So varied answers po tayo. Some of you keyed in 2, others keyed in 4. Sige. If we take a look at this text, it's a kind of factual recount. It recounts what happened. Okay. Or this can also be considered a narrative text type. So if we take a look at this, you do not see, we can arrange this, we're supposed to arrange this factual recount in a chronological order. But if you've noticed, no keywords are given like first, second, and so on. So we just have to arrange the story based on the ideas presented to us. Sige. So varied answers tayo. It seems that many have answered 4 and 3. Let's find out later. Let's find the first sentence first. Which one should come in first here? And if we take a look at the choices, we all agree that letter A is the beginning sentence. So this talks about the man who watched the football matches for a whole Sunday afternoon. For a whole Sunday rather. So what comes in next? So after he spent his whole Sunday afternoon, we see that a little later, he fell asleep in his armchair. The letter C. And if we take a look at the choices, we can eliminate letter A because it is not, the letter A is not followed by number 1 rather. We eliminate number 1. So those who answered number 1, I'm sorry, but many of you here are answering 2, 3, and 4. And that's okay because we are left with those options. So after he fell asleep, what happened next? So here we see that it has already turned into morning. So in the morning, so A, C, and B. And we eliminate number 2. Those who answered 2, it's not it. So he slept, he fell asleep, and then when he woke up, it's already morning. So A, C, and B. When he woke up, letter E, he was greeted by his wife that it's already 5 to 7. And then because he was watching a football game, he asked about 5 to 7 and he thought it's still the score. He didn't know that it's already the time he woke up. So the correct answer here is very good, 4. So this is the correct order of the ideas. Very good. All right. Let's go to number 4. This one, I hope you did not have any experience in this situation. Letter A. We didn't know English, so we couldn't respond to his question. B. We took a trolley bus to the central department store. All right. Those who answered number 3, those who answered 4, you got it right. So we're in number 4 na po. Letter C. For the first time in my life, I really regretted not having learned English at school properly. I hope you were not able to had such realization because you were not caught in any situation like this. Letter D. My friend and I decided to go shopping. E. In the trolley bus, a foreigner addressed us in good English. So what do you think is the best order of the sentences here? All right? Parang common yung nag-answer dito. Everyone agrees that it's 4. 2 rather. Option 2. Sige, let's check. If we take a look at letter C, for the first time in my life, I really regretted not having learned English at school properly. This, by the way, this is a kind of recount, the same with a factual recount or a narrative. It tells a certain story or recounts a certain event. And if we take a look at C and D, we can have these as options for our topic sentence. But let's take a look at letter C. For the first time in my life, I really regretted not having learned English at school properly. This sentence can be used as a starter sentence, meaning it can be an attention getter. And then you can expand your ideas from there. But it can also be a concluding sentence. So this kind of sentence, it can take anywhere for first or last sentence. But let's say let's take letter D as our topic sentence. So what could be the correct order? And if letter D, if we decide that letter C is a concluding sentence, then we can eliminate choices 1 and 3. All right. Which I think is okay because all of you have so far keyed in 2 being the correct answer. So again, let's see the correct order this time. So my friend and I decided to go shopping. What's next? What happened and where did they go shopping? So it's followed by B. We took a trolley bus to the central department store. So we are already given that in the options, the correct answer here could be 2, option 2, which I think you are right. But to continue with the process, so here, so after taking the trolley bus to the central department store, there the foreigner addressed us in good English. And then we didn't know English, so we couldn't respond to his question. And so the realization dawned in the person for the first time in my life. I really regretted not having learned English at school properly. So hooray to those who answered two. Very good. So this is the correct order of the sentences. Right. Let's go to number 5. Let's get ready. A. Speaking in English every day is also proven effective. In this group of sentences, we are given keywords, but they are not found. Not all of them are found at the beginning. Sometimes they are found at the middle of the sentences. So you can also take note of them as your signal words. Letter B. Another way is watching English movies and TV shows, particularly with English subtitles. C. Reading articles and books, newspapers, and magazines is just among the helpful ways. And D. There are many ways to improve and develop English proficiency. So if we take a look at our topic sentence and we check on the sentences here, it seems that every sentence here is talking about ways to develop speaking in English. All right? And so we say that letter D, we agree that letter D, as the choices say, they all begin with letter D. So letter D is our topic sentence. So what are the ways to improve and develop English proficiency? So here, take a look at A, B, and C. Letter A uses the word also. So if we say also, if we use the word also, meaning to say it has already identified a certain way or ways, and then you're just adding this as another way, all right? And then letter B, another way, okay? So the same with also, meaning something as we mentioned before, and then you just add it up. So we can agree that letter C is the next in order. All right. And so we can eliminate choices 1 and 3 that says DA. Yeah. So final choice 2. All right. So let's see. And then we have identified just among the helpful ways. And so we have the third sentence being B. Very good. So another way is watching English movies and TV shows. And to end it, we say speaking in English is also proven effective. And those who said final answer is 2, very good. So choice 2 is the best answer here. Great job so far, everyone. Some of you medyo hindi pa nakaka-settle in. Parang yung tip not so clear with you at the moment if you get it right. So just a little recap. Let's just again, the first thing is we identify the topic sentence and then we look for support details. Ano ba yung nag-i-elaborate or nag-i-expound sa topic sentence natin? And in the support details, we can usually find signal words or transitional devices, like the ones I highlighted. Also, another way. And then once you arrange the support details in order, and then finally look for the concluding sentence. Right. Sige. Let's go to item number 6. Letter A. He picked me up in the dormitory and we went into the car. Letter B. Dad drove over one day during my first year in college. C. As we had dinner, I told him of my plans. D. He was so delighted that he shook my hands vigorously. And E, we just drove slowly through the hill till dinner. Earlier, one of the tips says that we have to look for a sentence that begins with a noun. And if we see that the sentence begins with a pronoun, surely it is not the beginning sentence or the topic sentence. So we can eliminate. This is a factual recount, by the way. So we can eliminate, we can agree that it's letter B. The choices also say that letter B is our topic sentence. Dad. And all the pronouns here, the word he refers to dad, meaning the antecedent is dad. The antecedent of the pronoun he and him is the word dad. So, dad drove over one day during my first year in college. What happened next? When he drove over, you say letter A. He picked me up in the dormitory. So we can eliminate already choice number 1 because it says we just drove slowly. So BA, everything. And so after he picked me up, what happened next? We just drove slowly through the hill till dinner. Okay, so this is the third one. So the correct answer is very good. Mona Lisa 2. That's 2. And Libeth 2. Yeah, very good. So if we continue the correct order, we drove slowly through the hill till dinner. And as we had dinner, I told him of my plans. And when I told him of my plans, he was so delighted that he shook my hands vigorously. All right, very good. Yeah, so those answers coming in, very good. 2. The best answer here is 2. Let's go to number 7. All right. So this is the second part of the test items in English. When put in the correct order, each sentence below would make an well-organized paragraph. So decide what should be the correct order of the sentences, just like what we did earlier, but answer the questions that follow. I also added some questions there before we arrive at the correct order. So let's get ready. Number 7. A, the first procedure is that the bill passes through 3 readings on separate days. B, otherwise, the bill will go back to the House from where it originated and it will be deliberated upon again. C, if the President approves the bill, then it shall be deemed law. D, a bill, before becoming a law, undergoes several procedures. E, on the third reading, the votes of the lawmakers shall be recorded, and if the bill is approved, it goes to the President for approval or veto. Now, in some instances, the test item may appear like this. So before you are asked to arrange the statements in correct order, you first are asked to answer certain questions. Like which should come first, which should come second, which should come next. So number 7, what should be the first sentence here? All right. So of course, this is a procedural text. If you can see, the first procedure is, and then it states one at a time the procedure that it has to go through before a bill becomes a law. All right. Yes. So there. So if we take a look at the keywords, the first procedure, otherwise, if, a bill on the third reading. So everyone here agrees it's number 4. D. Very good. A bill, before becoming a law, undergoes several procedures. So the correct answer for number 7 is D. Very good. Now let's try to arrange them. What should be the last sentence? Of course, before we find out what's the last sentence or the closing sentence is, then we have to arrange all the other details in order. So what procedures does it undergo? Of course, we are given that letter A, it says the first procedure. So it is followed by letter A, and then the first procedure is that it has to go through 3 readings. And then letter E, on the third reading, the votes are being recorded, and if it is approved, then the president goes to the president for approval or veto, letter E. So, and then it says it goes to the president. So letter C for number 4. If the president approves the bill, then it becomes a law. If not, then letter B. Otherwise, the bill will go back to the House. Very good. So the correct answer is B. Choice or option 2 being the last sentence. Very good. Now let's see the correct order. What should be the correct order of the sentences here? If D is the first and B is the last, what's the correct order this time? So we can already eliminate number 1 and 4 and 5. If we take a look at the order, we say it starts with a bill before becoming a law, being our topic sentence. So we are left with options 2 and 3. Yes. And the correct answer here is indeed option 3. Very good. Parang na-gets na yung ano natin, no? Yung tips natin. Sige. Let's go to the next one. Now, in some instances, other than the ones that you are given, there is an additional statement which would either break the order of sentences or will be simply added as the closing sentence. So let's see. If the following sentence is added as sentence F, then what would be the new order of the sentences? And here is the newly added sentence. It should be noted, however, that the president must communicate his veto within 30 days from receipt of the bill. Otherwise, the bill is considered to have been proven by him. Earlier, we say that the correct order of the sentence is DAECB. So DAECB, that's in option 3. What do you think is the new order of sentences now? Should this interrupt the ideas in between, or we simply add it as a last sentence? So for number 10, yes, you keyed in 3 being the correct answer. And I agree with you. So the additional sentence is simply the last sentence. Otherwise, the bill will go back to the House from where it originated. So it should be noted, however, that the president must communicate his veto within 30 days from the receipt of the bill. Otherwise, it is approved by him. Very good. All right. Let's continue further. Next set. Letter A. Learning to listen is one way of keeping friends. B. Although listening can be very tiring to the listener, it may, on the other hand, be comforting to the speaker. C. So, learn how to listen and gain more friends. D. We also show that we care about what goes on in their lives. And E. By listening, we show our friends that they are important to us. So what should be the third sentence? But before we decide on the third sentence, of course, we decide which one is the topic sentence or which one should come in first, right? So first, we find the topic sentence. And I highlighted the beginning words, learning to listen, although listening, so learn how to listen, we also show by listening. And if we take a look at this, it seems that letter A is the one that can stand on its own. And everything here talks about listening. So we agree that our topic sentence is A. Learning to listen is one way of keeping friends. All right. And what should come in next before we find the third sentence? So here, learning to listen is one way of keeping friends. By listening, we show our friends that they are important to us. We also show that we care about what goes on in their lives. So the third sentence is letter, very good, option 4, which is letter D. Very good. So that this is our third sentence. Now, which should come in last? So for number 11, if you take a look at this, the last sentence should be, so after we also show that we care about what goes on in their lives, although listening can be tiring to the listener, it may, on the other hand, be comforting to the speaker. So, learn how to listen and gain more friends. So the last sentence should be option. Very good. Hi, Monica. I think this one is for English, verbal ability review. I don't know if this is the right page for you. If you're confused, you can check out our Gurong Pinoy FB page for the correct links. All right, this is civil service review for verbal ability. All right, so letter B. Do you think letter B is the correct option? I disagree though, because of the word so. Look at letter C. So. So, learn how to listen and gain more friends. At the start, the beginning sentence says, learning to listen is one way of keeping friends. So we end it with so, learn how to listen and gain more friends. So the correct answer, yes, very good. That's 3. For number 11, sentence C or option 3 is the best answer here. Now, the next question asks us to arrange them now in their correct order. So let's take a look at this. The correct order of the sentences should be A, E, B. So we can eliminate already option 1, 4, and 5. We're left with option 2 and 3. But the correct answer here is option 2. Option 2. A, E, D, B, and C. Very good. Yeah. Let's go to number 14. Here's the next set of a paragraph. I hope I am not too fast for you, but if you feel so, just give me a comment. Letter A. Hence, it can be said that the president has a lot of duties and responsibilities. B. He has control over department secretaries and can overrule their decisions. Yeah, we're done with number 12. If you could allow me to just give a little backtrack on number 12. Oh, sorry. I think I missed out number 12. Yeah, I think there's an error in my numbering. This is supposed be number 12. But let's just stick with what the number is here so that I don't get confused and we don't get confused more. Sige, let's go. This is number 14. The supposed number 13, but let's just stick with number 14. Thank you so much for the reminder. I'm sorry if I got you confused there. Now, next batch of sentences. A, hence, it can be said that the president has a lot of duties and responsibilities. The question asks which should be the second sentence. But of course, again, the tip is that before you proceed to finding the second sentence, of course, you have to find the first sentence or the topic sentence first. All right? So he has control over the department secretaries. He could still refer to the president. C, furthermore, the president exercises veto power over bills passed by Congress. D, lastly, he is the chief executive. It seems that A, B, C, and D talks about one thing, one person that is stated in letter E. The president in a presidential system is the head of state and the head of the government. So if we're finding the topic sentence, so this is it. We have letter E being our topic sentence. So the next sentence that supports this topic sentence is, you said 2 or letter B. He has control. Let's see. So what should be the second sentence? Since he is the head of the state and the head of the government, I agree. That's letter B. You are right. So option B is our second sentence. Option 2, sentence B is our second sentence. He has control over department secretaries and can overrule their decisions. So that's the power of being the head of state and the head of the government. Very good. Let's go to 15. What should be the last sentence then? So we can already see here. He has control. Furthermore, letter C, the president exercises veto power over bills. Lastly, he is the chief executive, executing the laws and rules of the land. And because of these, it can be said that the president has a lot of duties and responsibilities. So, what should be the last sentence here? For number 15, very good. That's letter A. And if we take a look at the correct order of the sentences here, which should be the correct order of the sentences? We can eliminate number 4 and number 5 because they begin with A. So we are left with options 1 to 3. So for number 16, the correct order is E, B, C, D, and A, which is right. You are right. This is option number 1 for 16. Very good. Correct. So this is option 1. Let's go to the next set. Letter A. Not only that, but paying taxes also means that the government will no longer need to acquire loans to fill the budget deficit. B. Every citizen should lend a hand in pursuing economic progress. C. One way to do it is to pay one's taxes correctly. D. Paying correct taxes results in increased revenues that the government uses for infrastructure and other projects. And E. So be a good citizen and pay your taxes correctly. So what should be the second sentence? But again, before we decide on the second sentence, let's decide first on the beginning sentence. So you're keying in 1 and 3 being the second sentence. Not only that. So the use of the word not only that for option A will not be, okay. Sige. So it can be a follow through or an additional information from what is given. Sige. You're keying in option 3, sentence C being the second sentence. Let's see first your topic sentence. Let's take a look at the words. So here, and the topic sentence that we can find here is letter B. Every citizen should lend a hand in pursuing economic progress. So how should a citizen lend a hand to pursue economic progress? And you say letter C or option, sentence C or option 3, which is right. One way to do it, one way to lend a hand in pursuing economic progress is to pay one's taxes correctly. Very good. So number 17, it's C. Very good. And because one way of lending a hand is paying one's taxes, how does it help pursue economic progress? So we are given with letter D. Paying correct taxes results in increased revenues. But let's go to number 18. What should be the fourth sentence? So we are given here the first, the second, and the third sentence. What should be the fourth one? So after D, what should come next? And sentence D states that paying correct taxes increases revenues. Very good. So the next sentence here, we are challenged between sentence A and sentence E, which begins, for sentence A, it begins with not only that, which mostly support what is in letter D. It increased the paying of correct taxes results in increased revenues. Not only that, but paying taxes also means that the government will no longer need to acquire loans. So it helps, paying taxes helps in building infrastructure and other projects, but it also helps the government in terms of filling the budget deficit. So you're right. Number 18, the correct answer is sentence A or option 1. Why can't we have sentence E? The use of the word so would mean hence, thus, as a result, which signals that this is our last sentence. Okay? So, moving on, what should be the correct order of the sentences here? Take a look. We can eliminate number 2 and number 4 in our choices. So we are left with 1, 3, and 5. And looking at the numbers here, we say D, C, which is number 3, option 3. So number 19, it's option 3. Very good. So D, B, C, D, A, and E. The so here signals that it is the closing. Very good. All right, sige. Let me wait a bit for some answers. All right. Now, in some cases, you will also be asked certain questions like title. If we are given this paragraph and looking at the ideas that they present, what could be the best title for the paragraph? So A, for number 20, A, economic progress. B, 2, taxing the government. 3, a responsible citizen. 4, taxes and economic progress. 5, working together for progress. Now let's take a look at the sentences and look for some keywords here. In sentence A, we are given the idea that it's about paying taxes to fill budget deficit. In sentence B, a citizen lending a hand to economic progress. So citizen and economic progress. In letter C, it's about paying one's taxes correctly. In D, it's about paying correct taxes. And in letter E, being a good citizen by paying taxes correctly. So if we take a look at all the sentences here, there is one common thing that is mentioned, and it's about taxes, paying taxes. And if we take a look at the sentences, at the given choices here, economic progress could be, but economic progress is a result of paying taxes. There are other means to achieve economic progress. One of them is by paying taxes correctly among the citizens. So number 1 is not an option, is not our answer. All right? Taxing the economy, we don't tax the economy, we tax the citizens. All right? So number 2 is also not a correct answer. A responsible citizen. Yes, it could be because sentence B says every citizen should lend a hand in pursuing economic progress, and we become a good citizen if we pay our taxes correctly. But a responsible citizen performs other duties other than paying one's taxes correctly. So there can be other ways for you to become a responsible citizen. One mean for that is paying your taxes correctly. And everything here, all of the sentences here talks about paying taxes. So 3 can be a good answer, but not the best answer. Number 4, taxes and economic progress. If you take a look at it, all the items here speak about paying taxes, and the paying taxes is towards filling the budget deficit, pursuing economic progress, building infrastructure, and other projects, which leads us to the best answer, which is number 4 or option 4. All right? Working together to progress, it could be, but here it's the use of the word every citizen, be a good citizen. So it working together, although it implies a certain idea like that, but here it says that if one starts to become responsible by himself and to pay taxes, then a certain progress is achieved. So the best answer here is 4. All right? Yes. Okay. So we're done with item number 20. Do you have any questions so far? Because in the next part, I believe we're moving to, let me see. Yeah, we're moving to pagtatalata, the Filipino version of logical organization or paragraph development. Sige. The same rule is followed anyway. The same tips apply when it comes to pagtatalata, only that the language this time is Filipino. Now, I just have to present some disclaimer, I'm not a Filipino teacher, although applying for college, I indicated the first being the option for my majorship is Filipino. But eventually I ended up in the English group, and I didn't know that it was really God's plan for me, because eventually when I took some Filipino subjects being minor, I actually don't know where to find myself. I really felt that I did not fit in. So uh, parang I just like I remembered I just like Filipino because of my high school Filipino teacher. That's the only reason. But actually, I like English better when it comes to teaching. So anyway, I studied for this. I spent some nights studying about this, and I asked certain people in my organization to help me go over with the items. So I hopefully I can be of help with you in this part of the test. Thank you. Wag lang sa vocabulary, no? Filipino vocabulary, nakakawindang talaga. Okay. Anyway, sige. So, here it is. This is the kind of directions you will see when you are presented with a Filipino test item focusing on pagtatalata or paragraph organization. Bawat bilang ay binubuo ng isang talata na may 4 o 5 pangungusap still. So it can be 4 or 5 sentences na hindi maayos ang pagkasunod-sunod. Pag-aralan kung paano ang pinakamaayos na pagkasunod-sunod ng mga ito. Pagkatapos, sagutin ang mga tanong. So the second part of paragraph organization, we will follow that. So before you are asked to arrange the correct order of the sentences, you will first be asked to respond to certain questions. Letter A. Ayon sa batas na ito, pagbabayarin ang mga may-ari ng kumpanya at sasakyan na nakapipinsala sa kalidad ng hangin dahil sa mga usok na binubuga nito. B. Ang Clean Air Act ay isang batas na naglalayong mapanatiling malinis ang ating hangin. C. Sa isang banda naman, ang mga kumpanyang magkakabit o maglalagay ng mga gamit laban sa polusyon sa kanilang lugar ay bibigyan ng tax break. Letter D. Ano ba ang Clean Air Act? So number 21 asks us, how do we correctly order the ideas or the sentences? Ano ang wastong maayos? Ang wastong ayos na mga pangungusap na makabubuo ng isang makahulugang talata. Alright, so we will follow the tip in order for us to sequence the sentences properly or correctly. We have first to identify kung ano yung paksang pangungusap or topic sentence. Sige. But, mind you, the paksang pangungusap is not always found at the beginning. Alright? So, in our lesson of paragraph development, we are told that a topic sentence can sometimes be either implied or explicitly written. When we say explicitly written, meaning we can find it written within the paragraph. But if it is implied, then, or rather, the main idea, sometimes it is explicitly written or implied. So if the main idea is explicitly written, then we can find it in the sentence or within the paragraph, usually stated in the topic sentence. But if it is implied, meaning to say, we can glean it from the totality of the paragraph, although the specific words are not found there. But the topic sentence, as we say, is not always found at the beginning of the paragraph. The topic sentence, we are told that it can be found either at the beginning, middle, or end. All right? And in paragraph development, sometimes we use, in one of the items earlier, I showed you we can begin with an attention getter instead of a topic sentence. So, here, alin sa mga pangungusap na ito ang dapat mauna? Which here do you think should come in first? So, if we take a look at letter D, all right? So, if we take a look at letter D, ano ba ang Clean Air Act? So, this is the beginning of the paragraph. It starts the paragraph, but not as a topic sentence because it doesn't tell us anything yet about the Clean Air Act. It just tickles our mind to introduce us to the topic. So, we call this an attention getter. Okay? And so, if we take a look at this, ayon sa batas na ito, so surely it talks about the Clean Air Act, number 1, but it cannot be the topic sentence because it may provide a support. Ang Clean Air Act, all right? So letter B seems to answer letter D, the question D. Sa ibang banda naman, so it means otherwise, or on the contrary. So we can find this at the middle part of the sentence, showing contradiction. It can be a support, but showing contradiction. So looking at these, I mentioned this earlier. So alin ang paksang pangungusap dito? We have an attention getter in sentence D, but the paksang pangungusap here is letter B. Ang Clean Air Act ay isang batas na naglalayong mapanatiling malinis ang hangin. So it tells us what the Clean Air Act is about. All right? Now we have identified the topic sentence. Let's arrange the options or the sentences. So we're given that letter D is the beginning sentence. So those who are asking about this session is automatically uploaded in the YouTube, but I think just a portion of it. For the complete video of this session, I think you have to access it. You can only access it if you are a group member. So you can, if you for more questions about it, you can message us in our Gurong Pinoy Facebook page so that our staff can entertain you. I hope I did answer your question. Sige. So D, and then followed by a Clean Air Act, explaining what it is. So it is a batas. Ito ay isang batas. And then we are left with A and C to reorder. So which one supports it? And letter B is followed by letter A. So ang Clean Air Act ay isang batas. At ayon sa batas na ito, pagbabayarin ang mga may-ari ng kumpanya at sasakyan na nakapipinsala sa kalidad ng hangin. And then finally, cap it with this sentence. Sa isang banda naman, ang mga kumpanyang magkakabit o maglalagay ng mga gamit laban sa polusyon sa kanilang lugar ay bibigyan ng tax break. So, if we take a look at the order, it's D, B, A, C. Tama pa kayo, Sir Ronel. Sir Romel, rather. So, if we take a look at the order, it's DBAC, which is option 4. Oh, sige. Ma'am Annie, thank you for sharing your concern. Our staff, I think, is monitoring in the comment section, so they may be able to help you. But if you'd like to personally present your concern, can I ask you to just message in the FB page so that our staff can attend to your personal concern? Thank you, Ma'am Annie. All right. So the best answer here is DBAC. Very good. I think you've inputted the correct answers. All right. Sige. Now, Kung daragdagan ng isang pangwakas na pangungusap, so we say, letter C is still a supporting sentence. There's no conclusion yet in this group of words or a group of sentences rather. So, kung dadaragdagan ng isang pangwakas na pangungusap ang mga nasa itaas, alin sa mga sumusunod ang pinakaangkop? So, here, the ones in blue are or is or are the choices for the best concluding sentence. Saan dito yung pinakaangkop na pangwakas na pangungusap? To wrap up everything that is discussed in A to D. Number 1, ang Clean Air Act ang tamang solusyon sa lahat ng polusyon. 2, alamin ang tungkol sa Clean Air Act. 3, kung ikaw ang may-ari ng kumpanya, sang-ayon ka ba sa Clean Air Act? Or 4, tumulong mapanatiling malinis ang hangin. The page name is Gurongpinoy. So you can just search it in Facebook. Thank you, Ma'am Grace. All right. So if we take a look at sentence A, it says, ayon sa batas na ito. So it can refer to Clean Air Act. And everything here talks about the Clean Air Act. And we are given that the support details tell that in letter A, if ang mga kumpanya ay sumusunod, or ang mga kumpanya ay nakasisira sa kalidad ng hangin, then sila ay pagbabayarin. Pero sa sentence C naman, sinasabi na kapag sila ay sumusunod at tumutulong sa paglaban sa polusyon sa hangin, then sila ay bibigyan ng tax break. So, looking at the sentences here, saan po ba dito yung pinakaangkop na pangwakas? Let's take a look at sentence 1. Ang Clean Air Act ang tamang solusyon sa lahat ng polusyon. We can disagree that this is, we can agree that this is not the correct answer. Why? It simply talks about Clean Air Act, meaning yung tina-target nito ay yung polusyon sa hangin. Pero para sabihin na ito ang tamang solusyon sa lahat ng polusyon, then we can think about other pollutions, other types of pollutions, which this Clean Air Act cannot actually solve. So the answer number 1 is not a correct answer. All right? Number 2, alamin ang tungkol sa Clean Air Act. Pwede, pero binigyan na tayo ng ideya sa sentence 1 at sentence C kung ano ba yung Clean Air Act na ito. So, kahit hindi na natin basahin yung kabuuang artikulo, then we already know at least what it is. So, number 2 is not also the best answer. Take a look at number 3 and number 4. Number 3, because it starts with a question, this is a strategy, a writing strategy. You begin an article with a question to tickle the mind of your reader and wrap it up or end it with another question to continue them or to continue inspiring them to think about it more. And so what you have written about, it remains in the minds of your reader. So questioning as an attention getter and questioning as a closing sentence is actually a good strategy. If I check on my students' essays, usually that's the mostly used strategy for closing and for introductions and for closure, questioning. Kung ikaw ang may-ari ng kumpanya, sang-ayon ka ba sa Clean Air Act? Why can this be correct? So let's take a look at sentence A. Ayon sa batas na ito, pagbabayarin ang may-ari ng kumpanya. So it presents that there will be fines for institutions who violates the rule or the law or the act. While in letter C, there will be tax break, an incentive for those who obey the rule or the act or the law. So number 3 is the best ender here, is the best closing sentence because it leaves us to question based on what was presented in the two support details. Kung ikaw ang may-ari ng kumpanya, sang-ayon ka ba sa Clean Air Act? Sang-ayon ka ba na ikaw ay mabibigyan ng penalty or ikaw ay mabibigyan ng incentive kapag nag-follow ka? So, the best answer here is number 3. Right, very good. Tumulong mapanatiling malinis ang hangin. This is an invitation but not a very good conclusion for this kind of paragraph. So the pairing, opening it with a kind of question and ending it with another kind of question is such a powerful tool to left your audience, to left the topic stay in the mind of your audience. Right? So very good. Sa mga nag-answer ng number 3. You are right po. Let's go to number 24. Ano ang pinakaangkop na pamagat sa nabuong talata? So we're looking for the title. Just like what we had earlier in an English item, we look for what is being discussed in each item, in each sentence. And it seems here that letter D and letter B talks about Clean Air Act, and letter A and letter C explains what happens when it is violated or it is observed. So yes, tama kayo. So number 23 the correct answer is 2, ang Clean Air Act. Okay. When we say ang kalinisan, different levels of kalinisan, and what we're talking only is about hangin, quality of the air. So, ang kalinisan, very generic, very broad yung topic niya. Or when we say ang hangin, what about the hangin? So, it's not only about the hangin, but the act in response to the pollution that is suffered from by the quality of air that we have. All right. Next set po tayo. A. Ayon sa saligang batas, maraming mga katangiang dapat taglayin ang sinumang nagnanais na maging presidente ng bansa. B. Ikalawa, nararapat din na siya ay rehistradong botante at marunong bumasa at sumulat. C. Isa pang mahalagang katangian ay kinakailangang 40 taon man lamang siya sa araw ng halalan. D. Isa sa mga katangiang ito ay nararapat na isa siyang katutubong ipinanganak na mamamayan ng Pilipinas. E. At ang huli ay nararapat na siya ay residente ng Pilipinas sa loob ng 10 taon bago dumating ang halalan. Ano ang gustong pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga pangungusap na makabubuo ng makabuluhang talata? So, which order here should be followed to make this a logical and logically organized paragraph? Okay. So, we start with the tip. We find what is the topic sentence. So, alin dito yung paksang pangungusap? Let's answer that first. Take a look. In letter A, it presents maraming mga katangiang dapat taglayin ang presidente ng bansa. Then letter B, we see the word ikalawa. Letter C, isa pang mahalagang katangian. Letter D, isa sa mga katangiang ito. And letter E, at ang huli. Now, if we take a look at this, these are the keywords to arrange the support details. And so we agree that letter A is our paksang pangungusap or topic sentence. So everything, our choices should start with letter A. Oh, tama kaya si Ma'am Almyra? Sige. So we try to arrange this time. So ano yung mga katangiang dapat taglayin ng ating presidente? Letter C, letter D rather. Isa sa mga katangiang ito ay dapat siya ay katutubong ipinanganak na mamamayan ng Pilipinas. So D. Oh, parang tama yung answer ni Ma'am Almyra. And then, ikalawa, letter B. Ikalawa, dapat siya ay rehistradong botante. And then C, isa pang mahalagang katangian ay dapat siya ay 40 taon. Alright? And then panghuli, dapat siya ay residente ng Pilipinas sa loob ng 10 years. So, let's see. Saan dito? If we arrange it. So, A, D, B, C, and E. Let's see. Parang tama si Ma'am Almyra except that the first and the last one is both A. Medyo nagkamali lang siguro sa type. So, A, D, B, C, E. Yes, Ma'am Jerica. Jerica ba? Sige, let's see. So, the best answer here is number 3, option 3, A, D, B, C, E. Very good. Yeah. Sige. Most of the answers here, tama. Very good. Ano ang pamamaraang ginamit upang mabuo ang talata? So when we write, there are certain strategies. As I've mentioned earlier, it can be cause and effect type, or we call this types of paragraph development. So it can present a cause and effect. So number 1, pagbibigay ng sanhi at bunga, or cause and effect. Number 2, paglalarawan or descriptive. Does it describe? And if it's a paglalarawan or descriptive, usually you can find a lot of descriptive words there or adjectives. Paghahambing, so comparison or contrast. Does it compare and contrast two things or more things? Or pag-iisa-isa o enumerasyon? And if we take a look at the beginning words, you can see there ikalawa, isa pang, at ang huli. Yeah. This is not a paglalarawan, or this is not a descriptive paragraph, but it's an enumeration. It enumerates what are the different katangian or qualities that a president of the Philippines must have. You can see there, ikalawa, at ang huli. So the use of these signal words tell us about the pag-iisa-isa or enumerating the qualities. So the correct answer here is 4. Very good. Tama pa kayo. I think marami yung nakakuha ng correct answer here. Very good. Sige. Let's go to number 26 rather. Anong pangungusap ang nagsasabing hindi maaaring maging presidente ng bansa ang isang dayuhan? This kind of question seems to target comprehension already and checks whether you are being keen to the details that you have read. So saan dito yung nagsasabing hindi maaaring maging presidente ng bansa ang isang dayuhan? Pangungusap B ba, or C, or D, or A? We exclude letter A because it's our topic sentence already. Let's see. The correct answer is D. Nararapat na isa siyang katutubong ipinanganak na mamamayan ng bansa. So, the opposite of being a katutubo is, of course, a foreigner or dayuhan. So, number 3 is the correct answer here. Another support we can get is letter E for those who answered number 4. But letter D is the best answer here. Alright? Sige. Number 27 na tayo. A. Next set of sentences. Let's get ready. Letter A. Ang mga ito ay nagmula sa gitnang Asya at naglakad sa mga tulay na lupang nagkakabit ng iba't ibang bahagi ng Asya sa Pilipinas. B. Sila ay sinundan ng Indones na galing Timog Silangang Asya. C. Ang pinakaunang pangkat ng mga tao sa Pilipinas ay ang mga Ita o Negreto. D. Ang huling pangkat naman na dumating upang manirahan dito sa ating bansa ay ang mga Malay na nagmula rin sa Timog Silangang Asya. So if we take a look at the sentences, except for letter A, there are names given to certain groups. Letter B, Indones. Letter C, Ita o Negreto. And letter D, Malay. And letter A, what does it support? So before we check on the wastong pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga pangungusap, we check first what's the topic sentence here. So surely there is no topic sentence. We're not given an idea what is it about, but we're just given ideas about what groups of people there are here. So looking at the words, ang mga ito, so who is being referred to by mga ito? Letter C, sila. Our rule earlier says that we don't pick a sentence that begins with a pronoun, being our topic sentence. So letter B is also not. Ang pinakaunang pangkat ng mga tao. So letter C. Let's pick letter C as our beginning sentence. And here we can start to eliminate number 1 because it begins with A. Ang mga ito, who is this? It's so vague, so unclear. So we're left with options 2, 3, and 4. So, ang mga pinakaunang pangkat ng tao sa Pilipinas ay mga Ita o Negreto. Alright? Alright? So which one should come next? Ang mga ito, the Ita or Negreto ay nagmula sa gitnang Asya. Sila ay sinundan ng Indones. At ang mga Indones ay sinundan ng mga Malay. So, by order, we have C, A, B, D. Take a look at it. C, A, B, D. And the best answer here, you are right, is option 2. Correct. We can eliminate number 1. 1 is eliminated because to begin with the sentence, ang mga ito is so unclear, so vague. We don't know what it refers to. Right? Next. Earlier, we said that we are just given the types or the 3 groups of people. Pero there's no opening sentence or introductory sentence that is given or topic sentence. So number 28 asks us, ano ang pambungad na paksang pangungusap ang angkop para sa talatang nabuo? For this to be a logical paragraph, we need a statement to open it.